Now, that ain't the only thing making headlines in regards to Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin Clark was at Morgan Wallen concert, and I guess people mad about that. I mean, why be mad about it? We finna talk about it all, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the tribe. Make sure y'all got them post notification bells on, because y'all know, man, if we see it, we gonna drop it. Now, with all that being said, let's check out this USA ad campaign in regards to Caitlin Clark, man. So
USA Network recently dropped a new promotional campaign centered around Caitlin Clark, and the reaction across social media has been anything but quiet. The ad notably features two of Clark's fellow players, Kelsey Mitchell and Paige Bueckers, which struck many observers as a bold choice, given that the Dallas Wings, where Bueckers plays, just handed the Indiana Fever a loss in their home opener that very weekend. Clark herself had a slow start in that game's opening half, but gradually found her rhythm as the second half unfolded. As tends to happen with her, once the first shot drops, the rest tend to follow in quick succession. The USA Network, which has recently secured broadcasting rights for select WNBA matchups, will have Sophie Cunningham serving as an on-air commentator for some of those games. Cunningham's transition into broadcasting came after the Fever extended her a contract offer that fell well below market value, pushing her toward outside opportunities.
In regards to Caitlin Clark, man, so USA Network has acquired media rights with the WNBA. Now, Sophie Cunningham will be announcing some of these games in regards to the USA Network. We ultimately know that was her job, her other job, because the Fever lowballed her. Let's just all be for real there. That's why Sophie Cunningham had to go get another job. Now, with that being said, shout out to Correlation, man. They was the one who actually found this.
The promo itself features commentary describing Clark's shooting in vivid, almost poetic terms, voices calling her shots tough, her presence powerful, her impact capable of sending chills through a crowd. The ad carries a dark, intense energy that some viewers found compelling, while others felt it carried an unintended irony given who was delivering those words. Comment sections underneath the clip filled up fast. Some viewers appreciated the tone and the symbolism of having Mitchell and Bueckers speak to Clark's game, noting the ad had a dramatic, almost cinematic quality. Others pushed back harder, questioning what Clark does on the court that her peers don't, and accusing her following of harboring racial bias. The racism debate surrounding Clark's fanbase continues to circulate online, with detractors insisting her popularity is inflated by prejudice rather than skill.
Go get another job. Now, with that being said, shout out to Correlation, man. They was the one who actually found this USA Network promo for Caitlin Clark. Watch this, y'all. I'm going to try to blow this up. Hold on. Let me see here so they don't, splat us. All right. Now, listen to this and watch this, y'all.
That's a tough shot.
When she sees one go through.
Many on the other side argue the opposite, that Clark's appeal is rooted entirely in her playing style, which brings an unpredictability and entertainment value that draws casual fans in. The debate remains far from settled. Adding more fuel to the conversation, Clark was recently spotted at a Morgan Wallen concert, where Wallen, as he often does, brought her out ahead of his set. He's made a similar gesture towards several high-profile athletes and coaches over the years, including Peyton Manning, Nick Saban, and Kirby Smart. Clark, however, became the only one among them to face public backlash for the appearance.
When she sees one go through, it's like the basket becomes an ocean.
From downtown in her town.
Cece's powerful. She has the world in the chokehold.
I got chills from the explosion.
So that is the ad, man, that they put out. And I'm telling you right now, they ain't happy. They ain't happy about this.
The criticism stems from a 2021 incident in which Wallen was filmed using a racial slur. He issued an apology at the time, acknowledging the language was wrong and offering no excuses, citing a prolonged period of poor decision-making. Despite the controversy, Wallen rebuilt his standing in the music industry and now ranks among the highest-selling live performers in the country. WNBA fans took issue with Clark's association with him. Online responses ranged from expressions of disappointment to pointed remarks about what the appearance says about Clark's character.
Tell you right now. They ain't happy. They ain't happy about this. Hell no. Hell no. Let's read some of the comments, man. Scott said, I like that music sound beat. It's like Dark Danger coming to be right. Nice words, correct words from Paige and Kelsey overall. Good symbolistic. Both their fan bases hate this woman more than they like her. Let's read what somebody said up under this. Aside having a large racist fan base, what does Caitlin Clark do better on the court than these other two women?
None of those questions have easy answers, and based on the volume of responses the story is still generating, few people online seem ready to let it go quietly. Kalani Brown's performance this season has been a serious concern. Across both the preseason and regular season, her foul count has exceeded her point total. Turnovers, too, have outpaced her scoring. Every negative stat she's accumulated outnumbers every positive one combined.
Aside having a large racist fan base, what does Caitlin Clark do better on the court than these other two women? The victim cards are played out now. It's year 3. Stop whining, please. Yeah, man. So people still pushing this racist narrative. The Caitlin Clark fans is racist, which I think is just some of the dumbest piece of bull crap there is. The young lady cabal, you know what I'm saying? People like Caitlin Clark because of her style of play. It ain't boring. She make the game entertaining. That has nothing to do with race. And for people,
Clark going first made sense at the time, and Brink at 2 was equally logical given how she was viewed. Post-injury, the picture has shifted. The strengths that made her so exciting have regressed. The fouling issues that were always there have gotten worse, not better. She's still a fascinating player to build around, but the version teams are getting right now isn't the version that generated that early buzz.
To constantly say that it's race is beyond me. It simply is. Now, this is the footage right here. Hold on, we got copyrighted last time. So this is the footage, man, of Caitlin Clark at this Morgan Wallen concert, man. And a lot of people was hella mad about this. This made the headlines, man. And it's crazy to me that people really...
With Aaliyah Boston handling primary defensive assignments, Brink would operate as a sweeper. Against a team like the Wings, Boston covers Alicia Gray while Brink patrols the paint. Against the Aces, Boston takes Aja Wilson and Brink acts as the defensive safety valve. The trade math probably works out to matching salaries plus either a first-round pick or KK Robinson. Anyone suggesting KK Robinson is too valuable to move for Brink is significantly underrating what Brink brings.
Really went out their way to make this a bad thing. So anytime there's something involving Caitlin Clark, something I've been noticing, they have been figuring out ways to strategically, make this into something negative. Now, Yahoo Sports put out this article, man. It stated WNBA fans angered by Caitlin Clark attending Morgan Wallen concert. Clark is facing criticism for some of the WNBA fan base.
She is a far more impactful player than Robinson at this stage, particularly given the Fever's specific needs: rim protection, defensive structure, and floor spacing on offense. Brink checks all of those boxes in ways Robinson doesn't yet. Making the contract numbers line up would likely require including Ty Harris in the package. That creates obvious complications given her ties to the state of Indiana, making it an unlikely path. But structurally, a deal could be assembled with Harris, matched salaries, and perhaps a third-round pick moving to Los Angeles.
Favors by not playing well when she's getting in. And she currently has a very, very short leash with a team that's trying to win now, despite not being very good. Like, the Sparks are like a 7-8 seed. The Sparks and the Sky are in a very similar... I think they're about really similar teams. Where they're like... Most of the team are over 30 years old. And they're trying to go at it with vets one last time. And that's kind of...
On offense, Brink functions as a stretch big. She can spot up from the corner, operate on the perimeter, and space the floor for drivers. On defense, she provides the kind of rim deterrence the Fever have been missing. Right now, Indiana has been forced into a scramble switch scheme simply because they lack the personnel to do anything else. Adding Brink changes that calculus entirely. Even if foul trouble limits her to 22 minutes per game, that's an acceptable trade-off.
Go at it with vets one last time, and that's kind of what the Sparks are trying to do. So if Cam Brink continues to be poor, you're not going to get a chance. However, obviously, if she is on the trade market, she's a target for a lot of teams. What do I think teams are going to be willing to give up? I think her going rate is going to be a late first round pick. I don't think if you're the Fire, a lot of people are talking about tanking teams. I don't think if you're the Fire, I don't think if you're the Mystics, I don't think if you're any of these teams.
She also helps address the recurring problem of Caitlin Clark being targeted in pick and roll coverage. A weak side rim protector means the Fever don't have to collapse the defense on every skip pass. They don't have to run help rotations that leave the perimeter exposed. A single player anchoring the paint changes the entire defensive structure around her. The Sparks have already shown a willingness to make pragmatic moves.
If you're the Mystics, I don't think if you're any of these teams, you're willing to give up a near lottery pick for Cameron Brink. I don't think you are. In hindsight, in a 2020 redraft, based on what we know now, obviously everybody knows of the crazy potential of Cameron Brink at the time. Cameron Brink going 2 at the time made perfect sense. We're not going to pretend that Caitlin Clark wasn't number 1 in that draft, but
the Maisha Hines-Allen trade for Aerial Powers demonstrated that this front office isn't sentimental. Results drive decisions, and right now, Brink isn't producing enough to stay in their rotation. She needs a change of scenery, a different environment, a fresh start. The Fever, with their spacing, their talent around her, and their clear need for what she provides would be that environment.
Caitlin Clark wasn't number 1 in that draft, but there were talks. If you look at a lot of people's bold predictions for the 2024 WNBA draft, most of the bold predictions were saying that Caitlin Clark won't be the best player in the draft. It's going to be Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink was a player that came in their second WNBA game and swatted Asia Wilson 5 times. Like, it is like Cam Brink pre-ACL tear was one of the most hyped young players in the league, and for good reason. She was the best shot blocker in the league the second she set foot in the league, and she had a fouling problem. But since her ACL tear, all the positive aspects of her game has gotten worse, and have not regressed or gotten worse, and the fouling's gotten worse too. But a team that I still think should be in the running for Cameron Brink is the Fever. Do I think they're going to do it? No. But do I think the Indiana are going to do it? No. But do I think the Indiana Fever and Cam Brink will be a mutually beneficial combination? Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely. I think that's a mutually beneficial combination. Because if we're being real here, when it comes to Cam Brink, when it comes to the Fever, Cam Brink is not a center. On the defensive end, on the offensive end, she's a perimeter player. She is a weak side shot blocker. You have Aaliyah Boston, who can guard the other team's players. She is a weak side shot blocker more than she's a defender. So, for example, you're playing against the Wings. If you have Aaliyah Boston on Jess Shepard, Cam Brink then gets to guard Lana Smith. If you're playing the Aces, Aaliyah guards Asia, and Cam Brink is that sweeper on the defensive end. She's playing that sweeper role. She's going to be in there blocking shots. It would really benefit her. The going going to be in there blocking shots. It would really benefit her. The going rate is probably match salaries and either a first or KK if you're the Fever. That's probably what you're looking at. And for anyone saying, oh, you wouldn't give up KK for Cameron Brink, you are crazy. Cameron Brink is way better than KK Timpson. I love KK's development. Cameron Brink is so much better than KK. Like, especially for what the Fever need, which is a lot of defense, a lot of